Is that a pretty loud voice? I don't want the balls drop. All right. Now I can't turn it off. Technology. Thank you. Again, welcome tonight. Thanks for everyone to be able to come out here to celebrate these guys. It was a great season. Like Coach Joe said, Miss Tibbs actually just ran to each other in the hallway and she apologized for the sappy video. And like I told her, that's what it's all about, really. It's all about family. It's all about the hard work these guys put in. So Coach Joe pointed out some parents, and you guys did a great job putting this thing together. But all you parents do a great job day in, day out, getting them to practice, watching what they eat. You sometimes they're not able to eat what they want to or what you're trying to feed them because they're trying to make weight. And you put your trust in us, and that is the best thing and the best feeling in the world as a coach. So, I mean, all these guys are like sons to me. And you guys feel like extended family to me. You make my job easy. I mean, I love the sport of wrestling, but you guys, at the end of the day, are what it's all about. And the smiles, and you guys are happy when they're doing well. You're sad when they're not doing so well, but that all comes. It goes in ebbs and flows. So I want to thank you, and I think your sons owe you guys a big round of applause for all the work you put in. Because again, you guys make our job as coaches easy, because you're very easy to communicate with, and you're very supportive. And again, we do things a little differently than most. We like morning workouts, we like evening workouts, we like moving the schedule around, and I've never had a complaint, or you may be complaining on your voice, or maybe to your husband and wife, but you know what, you get them there, they're there every day for practice, and that's all we can ask as coaches. So you guys bought in, I think it paid off. We won the conference for the third year in a row, so these guys. Work definitely paid off. Okay, we're going to go through some awards. We're going to recognize these guys and make the night about them. Celebrate our seniors. Unfortunately, we're going to be losing them at the end of this evening, but we never really lose them because, as you can see, there's speckled throughout the crowd cornerbackers that just hang on and don't want to leave, which is a good feeling. It's a big family fun event. But these guys stepped up to the challenge we gave them at the beginning of the season. Again, they showed up for those morning workouts that, I'm sure that they would rather be sleeping, playing video games, or doing whatever at times. But I think that and the hard work they put in definitely led to the success we had this season. So, again, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get this thing started. We're going to recognize our first-year wrestlers that came to the team. First off, we have Abdul. He'll be receiving a certificate. Come on up, Abdul.
Yeah.
Abdul. Abdul came to us from soccer. We're looking forward to 3 more years as a freshman. Did a great job for us. Looking forward to fill some of those upper weight classes that unfortunately we're going to be losing. So we're looking forward to 3 more great years with Abdul. We have freshman Ashton Slagle. Second biggest kid on the team. Ashton, it's funny, we had 5 freshmen this year, and 4 were 6-pounders. And Ashton doesn't really fit there yet, but I think after tonight and loading up on some pasta and hopefully we'll get some more cake, that next year he can round into a full-size 6-pounder. But he really works his butt off in the room, and again, giving up 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds to guys isn't very easy in the sport of wrestling. Never complained, showed up, worked hard, got up when you didn't think sometimes, ooh, is he going to get up from that? He did. He just kept plugging away. So let's give Ashton a big hand.
One quick fun
fun fact about Ashton. So as a first-year wrestler, you know, we did the preseason 5:30 a.m. workouts. He did not miss a workout.
Wow.
Next, we have freshman, I guess the quartet of 6-pounders, Richie Rizzuto. Richie here, also again, one of our 6-pounders, and he's on his way up, he's growing. Richie here has not really taken any time off since the season ended. He's wrestled in a couple tournaments already. He's been working hard. He won 3 weight class, or well, he won the weight class 3 times at tournaments last weekend, finished 4th in another tournament. So as you see, Richie is aspiring to great things, and he is going to get there. And he wrestled, you know, some good matches for us this year. So.
Fun fact about Richie. So, we had 2 first-year freshmen that did not miss a morning workout
There you go.
at the beginning of the year. Ashton and Richie did not miss a workout. We're excited about this. If you go out to NCUSA Wrestling, Richie is number 5 in the state in terms of North Carolina State Wrestling points that you earn for tournament competitions and wins. So, top 5 wrestler in the state right now. We're going to keep it that way.
Next, we have also a freshman, thankfully one of our bigger guys, Jake Polanski. Jake he actually got the prestigious call-up for the Jim King tournament, which is a very tough tournament, and we'll allude to that a little later on, and actually won his first varsity match he ever wrestled.
Ooh.
So, again, he had guys ahead of him. He's a first-year wrestler, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Jake also did not miss any morning workout, 5:30 morning workouts.
Nice.
Very bright. Next, we have sophomore Ethan Huppel. Mr. Huppel is a sophomore, second-year wrestling for us. Did a great job. I think he lost 1 match in the JV ranks. Came back, had some really good wins. We're looking forward to him also filling in some of the weight classes that we will be seeing departing here in the next hour or so when this is officially over. So we're looking forward to him. I'm glad that he's going to put his time and efforts into the sport of wrestling from here on out. And again, we look forward to him filling in either 152, 160, 145. Maybe decides to keep losing weight. You still losing weight? Yeah. Okay, well, wherever he settles at, we'll hope that will happen in life. So let's get Mr. Huppel. Next, we have our letterman, some first-year letterman. We have junior Adam Aldridge. Adam is a second-year wrestler. A wrestler that came out as a sophomore last year. Took his lumps in the room because, as you see, Adam's a bigger kid. So it's hard to break into the sport when you're, inexperienced and bigger, and he did a great job. He took a couple beatings here and there, but now this year he went out there, dished him out, finished 4th in the conference for us, qualified for the regional tournament, was seconds away from knocking out a state qualifier. I think if we would have won that match, we gave him a point in, I think, the waning seconds. If we would have won that match, we would have gone to the state tournament. But again, he's also been working hard, wrestled in 2 tournaments already, finished 3rd in 1. And I don't think his season's going to stop either. I think he's going to keep it rolling. He's going to Wolfpack Wrestling Club. We're going to talk about Wolfpack Wrestling Club here in a little while. And he did a great job for us learning for the first time. Adam Aldridge. Next, we have the 4th horseman of the 106-pound freshman class. He is a first-year wrestler for us. He wrestled a little while. Did a great job. Was all conference as a freshman. Finished second in the conference in the tournament. Ended up bumping up to the regional tournament, and I think he made some of those 13-pounders wish they were at different weight classes because he's scrappy. He gets out there, he gets in your face, he roughs you up a little bit, and when he gets up here, you're like, no. But he does. He's a feisty little guy. I'm glad we have him for 4 more years. And again, the future's bright. Max Bucco. Mad Dog Bucco. Mad Dog. Okay. Next, learning for the first time, he's a junior, came to us last year as a sophomore, came out, had him in class, didn't really know, he's like, Coach, I'm gonna wrestle, and I'm like, okay, well, you need to get a physical, you need to come to some workouts, you need to do this, so none of that ever took place. And I was like, why don't you go to preseason stuff? I didn't. First day, shows up with physical. I'm like, this guy, it's gonna be over quick. Because again, preseason helps, gets you ready for the season. And he stuck it out. Wrestled all last year, did a lot of varsity wrestling for us this year. Look forward to his senior year, Justin Zarko. Prove me wrong. That's Harry. All right. Next, we have our biggest freshman of all. Came out, showed some interest in wrestling. Glad he did. Very fun to watch out on the mat. Very animated. I likened some of his footwork to Muhammad Ali. He got and again, he's only a freshman. Hopefully, we have him for 3 more years. Had a great season for us, developed well. It's not easy, breaking into those upper weight classes. He wrestled 220 for us by the end of the year. He was running around 200 pounds. Thought about going 95, but we had a couple guys that were there, so he'd do whatever he needed for the team. I think he wrestled a match or 2 at heavyweight for us, which he was giving up some weight and obviously some maturity and some size. But, never complained, showed up, worked hard, got after it. Again, the future is very, very bright for this young man. Tyrell Green. Yeah. Next we have a 3rd-year wrestler, first-time letterman, hard-working kid. Not many people want to work out with him in the rooms. He doesn't know how to stop. It's headbutt this, elbow that, or punch to the face. It's a tie-up, but it actually resembles a punch to the face. And just gets after it and is gritty and mean. And if I wish we could have got him really in the weight class that he would have really thrived at. Again, one thing about the sport of wrestling, you got a lot of guys, they're right around the same weight. So he probably wrestled a little bit out of his natural weight class. Still had a great season for us. Like I said, first-year letterman, finished 4th in the conference tournament. Pretty much, in my mind, outside of one kid, he had probably everyone in the conference pinned in the first 30 seconds, and just things, weight caught up to him, things like that. And but then he righted those wrongs at the conference tournament, won some big matches, scored some good points. Seth Leonard. Next, we have a big guy, came out last year as a sophomore. Cannot for the life of me pronounce his last name. Loves it to death, works hard, just never hear anything out of him, no complaints, nothing, just grinds it out in practice. Probably one of the hardest working guys we've got in the room. Another example of not really fitting in, being able to get to the weight class he'd probably be the most successful at, but never complain about it. Like, hey coach, you need me here? Yeah, I'll be there for you. I'll go drink a little extra, I'll, lose a little extra. Had a great season for us, looking forward to his senior year, and hopefully we'll slot him into the weight class he's more natural for. Again, we're losing a lot of weight, so I think that will happen, and next, we have a sophomore, second-year wrestler. Did a good job wrestling for us this year. I want to say maybe lost one JV match and won 10 varsity matches, filled in a lot. It helped the team out in a lot of instances, and looking forward to 2 more great years and continuing the family tradition. Cole Rathke.
Yeah.
Next person I want to, it should be in that big box. Next person I want to recognize, who honestly is an instrumental part of our team. You know, she's probably the second most important outside of you parents. Thanks. She is Alex Blank. She is our statistician, manager, team mom, sort of, in a way. I had the pleasure of teaching her as a freshman. She plays soccer. She's a very good soccer player. She was in class actually with a couple of wrestlers, and as the year went on, you know, she hears these meatheads talking about stuff. Oh, that sounds like fun. So then she starts coming to the wrestling events. Oh, I want to be the manager. You know, there's like 2 weeks left of the season. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, come see if you like it, blah, blah, blah. So she started coming to some events. And I was like, okay, she's done. You know, long weekends, sitting there, you know, watching God knows what sometimes. Sometimes good, sometimes a little rough. But, you know, she stuck it out. She came back. I was surprised. And, you know, she was excited about it. In fact, even in the preseason, she'd show up. And she'd, you know, do whatever I asked her to do. And, you know, I haven't had many managers let her in my time at Leesville, but I definitely think she's put forth the work, the effort, and the time, definitely the time, to honor her with a letter. Alex Blank. Moving on to our second-year letterman, who will receive the fun pin that everyone likes to have on their letterman jacket. The first one we have a senior, came out as a sophomore, actually taught him to, very athletic, very athletic young man. I know that another sport was, you know, that he played another sport, came to us. Again, had him in class, very fun, very energetic, outgoing young man. Russell was a junior, got in a bunch of time, lettered for us, did a great job. And then senior year, you know, had a great senior year for us, was all conference. Ended up qualifying for the regional tournament for the second year in a row, was a round away. Probably had one of the most exciting matches at the regional tournament that I can remember. I know I was in the main gym, somehow there wrestling, and I come over, and Coach Joe was coaching them, and I look at the scoreboard, it's 8-2, and it's like late in the second period, and I was like, oh geez, I was like, you know, I don't want to end this way, you know, this would be his last match. And next thing I know, he just puts on a takedown clinic, and we're looking at each other like, what? You know, what's going on? I mean, we knew he had it in him, but it was awesome just to sit back and watch it take place. I mean, this guy was just ripped, you know, and he's a great guy, but you know, he's a string bean. He's a skinny little guy, and you know, when he puts on a singlet, you're not thinking, ooh, wow, what's going on here? But when you tie up with him and you actually get out there and start wrestling, and you're like, oh, hey, here we go. So again, great match. Comes back, wins it in overtime. The other kid probably went off and cried, which he should have. We were happy. I mean, throwing hugs and going crazy high fives. I mean, it was an awesome moment. It just shows you the work that they put in and what they get from it. Senior, all conference, 152, 145. I think maybe wrestled the match at 160. So he's all over the map. You can list. Yeah.
So there were some times when we were sitting in the corner, I looked at Coach Wiss and said, man, that was so pretty. I mean, he had some of the prettiest takedowns and great
Yeah, honestly, like looking back on it, when you know, you do a look at the regional tournament, I mean, we saw some things. We were like, is he our kid? I mean, Adam, you know, like he's a front headlock, smack down, aggressive in your face, boom. He's hitting throw-bys, and I'm like, woo! I mean, slick throw-bys. I'm like, where'd that? You know, it's been there. Why hasn't it come out before now? Same thing. I mean, these guys are going to give you everything they have, but I mean, it's awesome when you actually start seeing it, and it looks so pretty. I mean, it's just like a work of art. It's just, wow. And I mean, it's against like top level competition too. It's not like, you know, somebody, oh, he's over there tying his shoes right now to wrestle the match for his life. Yeah, I mean, you can do some crazy things on that guy. But I mean, these are, you know, battle tested guys. We're working all year, regional qualifiers, some more state qualifiers, and these guys are just getting after it. And, I mean, it's fun. Just sit back and watch them perform. I mean, it's very, very fun. Very, very good job. And again, like Coach Joe said, hey, that's, you know, beautiful, beautiful. And actually, he just saw like 3 or 4 more times because he just went to work. But next, we have lettering for the 2nd year, a sophomore, Russell Forrest last year. Sort of the same situation. He's a tweener, really tough. He's a legacy kid. His brother, Russell Forrest, he had a great year, was the number 4 seed in the region, up 2 weight classes from where he should have been. But, you know, we had wrestle-offs, that's where it ended up being. Wrestled very well for himself. Won his first match, lost a close one, lost in overtime. Looking forward to 2 more years of actually finished 2nd on the team in takedowns. Shouldn't give that away yet. Sorry. But won his first varsity tournament at the Riverside Invitational in dominating fashion, tech the kid in the finals. I think all besides maybe his 2nd round match, he was beating the kid pretty bad, and I think I was being greedy. Coach Joe went there to calm me down, and I was like, oh, take him down again. You know, let him go, take him down again. And unfortunately, we got caught, and he only ended up winning by 5. So I was like, okay, so I don't do that anymore. You know, I was just being a little greedy. But again, you know, great attitude, hard worker, gets after it, very, you know, good teammate. No crying, whining in him. He'll work out with whoever. No crying in wrestling. I mean, just, you know, not much more I can say about him. And like I said, I look forward to the next couple of years with him. I know great things are going to happen. Brandon Jones. Hey, next I have a transplant that moved in last year, had a little wrestling experience. He's, I want to say he probably lettered before in Iowa, but I didn't have that information. And again, he wrestled for me last year, so he lettered because I'm sure if he had a letter from Iowa, it's probably different than the L that we give. And when I announced him, he's a senior. I wish I could have had him freshman through senior year. He brings a lot to the team. He's funny. He works hard. He gets after it. Wrestled probably 2 weight classes above what he should have. And I think towards the end, I think he saw that. He was all conference for us. Only guy, I mean, he counted well for himself, wrestling up 2 weight classes. It was his choice. And again, you know, you always, with your seniors, one more year. This is a guy that I would love to have 1 more year. He's got, you know, bright future ahead of him. He's already made his decisions going to the military. You know, it's been an honor to work with him and have him on the team. So lettering for me for the 2nd time, and probably lettering for the 3rd time, Christian Baskin.
And I think it's unanimous, Christian has probably the best dance moves of anybody on the team.
Okay, next we have one of our team junior, came out as a freshman, lettered last year for the first time, did a really good job for us, works extremely hard, great workout partner. Wrestled a great conference tournament, got to the finals for us, finished second in his weight class, had a good regional tournament. We're looking forward, he's already started work, getting ready for his senior year to help lead the team next year. And that's very appreciative, that you have these senior guys leading the way. Lettering for the second year, team captain, Zach Hitchman.
For those of you who were at the conference tournament, his match in the semifinals was epic. He was down by like 7 or 8 points, and we're sitting there thinking, oh, this is not going to be good. And then he started coming back. And then he ran back to the center. And the guy started bending over like he was tired. And Zach kept coming and coming. Next thing you know, he beats him like 12-11 in sudden victory overtime because of his hard work and the effort that he put into it. So we got some really, really great guys coming back, great leaders. But that's just an example of what these guys do and how they give everything they have. So
5:30
sticks in our mind.
Can I throw that in there? Alright, next we have lettering for the second year again. He was a transplant. We didn't have him all year. This guy would definitely put a smile on your face. I mean, I'm sure he's smiling right now. He lights up the room. He's very energetic. He's a funny guy. Had him last year for the full season. Did great for us. Came back. He wrestled very, very strong. Missed getting into the regional tournament. I think if we would have been able to just get in the door, I think he would have qualified for the state tournament. But again, he came to us from Fayetteville, Southview. Know the coach down there very well. He spoke very highly of him. Again, he's a great young man. He also will do great things here in the near future, whatever he decides to do. Big Mike. Next, we got our bar recipients. Okay, these are young men that either lettering for the 3rd year or the 4th year, and I'll let you know as we go through that. First guy we got up on the list was a 4-year wrestler, 3-year letterman, and did a really good job for us. Again, like early in his career, he probably wrestled out of his weight, but again, never complained. Just went out there and wrestled. Unfortunately, here at Leesville, we have an issue with getting bigger guys to come out. Eventually it'll all work itself out, but again, if you look at these guys, I mean, they do a good job, and they get out there, they get after it. But the thing that sticks out about this young man is he's an all-conference for his senior year. He's number 2 seed going in, and his season probably should have ended early January, maybe late December, because he had shoulder issues. And even at the conference tournament, he went out there and his shoulder separated really quickly in a semifinal match, and we injury defaulted. And I asked him, I was like, hey, it's your call, but you think you get us one more win, because then he would have placed and got his team points. And he shook his head, yeah, I'll wrestle. And it turns out he had another match. So going for 3rd and 4th, or no, this was getting to 3rd and 4th. And sorry, sometimes things go in my mind. And this is the match this is the match we needed him. He got taken down, shoulder comes out. And so it's over. And I told him, I was like, I can't make this call. I can't ask you to, deal with that pain that you're going. He's in pain. I mean, he's got to be in pain. I mean, things over here, and I was like, but it's your call, and I'm gonna walk away. And whatever you decide, he's like, I'll wrestle. And I popped back in and wrestled, and about 20 seconds later, reversed the kid, put him on his back, pinned him, and we were excited. I mean, it's just something like that. It's unbelievable. And then the referee goes to raise his hand, grabs the wrong hand. Yeah. So again, you know, his season could have ended a lot earlier than it did, and he just kept plugging away. You know, we set him out, trying to keep him healthy for important stuff, and he always showed up when he needed to for us, and really gave us a lot of oomph up top. Senior Eric Jones. No raising no arms or anything like that.
So one thing is you guys watch Eric wrestle. He's got what we call a body scissors. When he gets on top, the guy is underneath and he squeezes the daylight out of him. Once he gets the guy in his back, we're like, okay, the match is over. So I think he kind of invented and perfected that move for us this year, and he put a lot of wrestlers in pain using that body scissors.
Definitely. Hey, next up we have our first 4-year letterman. Wrestled obviously by going by 4-year letterman. Wrestled all 4 years, and had a pretty good career. We'll talk a little bit about some of that stuff a little bit later on, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So letterman for the 4th year, Dan Mills. Next up, we have a 3rd-year wrestler, 3rd-year letterman. One of our other team captains did a real good job for us, and was all-conference again for the 2nd year in a row, and round away from the state tournament. We're gonna hop over that hump and get there. Simeon Ruff.
In case you haven't noticed, he's growing a beard.
Little light. Hey, next we have another 4-year letterman who, again, wrestled 4 years for us and did a great job. Worked extremely hard for us from time to time, and I can honestly say that he made it, and his parents should be very, very, very happy and proud, because they were a big part of that. This young man was a pleasure to coach, and sometimes frustrating. I think some of this gray hair is his. But again, honestly, I haven't had a lot of 4-year lettermen in my years at Leesville Road, so it's a big honor, and I'm glad he was able to achieve that. Justin Tibbs. With this category, we have a junior alert for the 3rd year. Another fun individual, a character, mindset. He's won 30 matches every year of his career, even his freshman year when he was a 160-pound freshman. Which again, very hard to break into. The kid is probably stronger than 5 of us put together in this room. Maybe not his older brother, but pretty much everybody else, we struggle with the guy. He's a 2-time all-conference, won his first conference championship this year for us at 170. We're looking forward to his senior year and winning not only the conference, but the regional and quite possibly the state tournament. Kate Collins. Stuff out of the way. I want to recognize 3 guys real quick that, again, they're sort of an extension of myself and Coach Joe. I honestly, I think we could probably sit out in the hallway and these guys could run a practice and wouldn't skip a beat. My 3 captains, Zach Hedgebeth, Simeon Ruff, Dan Mills, come on up. Again, they all brought something different to the table. Go ahead and stay there for a second. You know, again, when you're thinking about leadership, you're thinking about a lot of different things. Work ethic is obviously something you need, and all three of these guys bring that. And then, you know, sometimes you lead by example, so you go out there and just stomp people, and that's a good way to lead. And, you know, so that fits the bill here for the most part. And then some people are more vocal than others, and then some people are good motivators. So they're giggling, but honestly, I mean, they did a good job with all three of those aspects, and I couldn't ask for better leadership this year. Even though we are graduating 7 young men, one of them, Dan, these two guys are juniors, thank God, we'll have that next year. So the leadership continues. We're looking for our junior captain. Hopefully people will work hard in all season and step up and achieve that. But, you know, these guys, again, can't say enough about them. You know, I feel, you know, these guys did a great job leading the team and setting a good example. You never questioned their work ethic. You never questioned if, you know, they were taking practice off, if they were taking a match off. You know, they gave you everything they had at all times. And that's, you know, greatly appreciated by the coaching staff. So can we give these young men a round of applause? Next, we're going to recognize our all-conference individuals. We, again, had a good year. We won the regular season for the third straight year in a row. Unfortunately, we finished second in the tournament, which, you know, we always look to try to win that. Not from lack of effort. I mean, these guys did a good job wrestling and you know, won big matches that we needed. But at the end of the day, we just didn't have, you know, enough horses in the stable to pull it off, you know. So, but without further ado, we'll go ahead and recognize our all-conference individuals. We have first, at the lightest weight class, we have Maximus Bucco. Max has a chance to be one of a few Leesville wrestlers that earn all-conference all 4 years. So, good job, Max. Next, we have senior, 3-year all-conference award winner, squeezing a conference championship in there, and a lot of dual wins for us, Justin Tibbs. Next, we have the next weight class, 120. We have all conference for the second year in a row. Looking for that third next year, and like I said, jumping over that hump and getting to that state tournament, Simeon Ruff. All right, so that's the first 3 weight classes. So we had 3 all-conference guys in the first 3 weight classes, and they finished respectively second, first, and third, excuse me. And then, like I said, I alluded to earlier, Seth Leonard finished 4th in the tournament. So, you know, first 4 weight classes, we have people in the top 4. Next, we have all conference at 132, Dan Mills. Dan won the tournament for the second year in a row. Go ahead, and like I said, did a good job. He's pretty fun sometimes. Next, we had 138. Unfortunately, we didn't land in all conference, but he did make it to the finals. Scored a lot of points for us. Like Coach Joe said, had one of the most exciting matches. Finished second, and we'll be returning in one of our captains, Zach Hedgepeth. Next, we had our 145 entry. Was seeded second. Unfortunately, we lost a close one in the semifinals. Ended up finishing third, but still garnered all conference in his second varsity year of wrestling. Again, alluding back to the regional tournament, really turned it on. Actually went back up, going 52, and had a great tournament, but earning all conference for the first time, even list. 160, well, we sort of flip-flopped. You know, I was trying to work my magic, trying to maximize as many points as we could. So Ethan, who had wrestled 52 most of the year, had wrestled some as the season went on, lost a little weight, and went down to 45. And then so I flipped him and Justin Zarco. He wrestled for us at 52, won a match. I mean, by the end of the year, he was only weighing probably about 138, 139, but you know, he got sick, but his weight had already locked in, so the lowest he could go was 45. And again, you know, he's out there against those horses, you know, and they're big old boys. And actually, our conference at 152 is pretty solid. Two of them, I think, yeah, two of them were state place winners. So, you know, and actually wrestled one of them in the first round. So, you know, unfortunately he didn't place, but, you know, he scored his points, which were big. Moving up to 160, same thing. Adam Aldridge was our entry at 160, had a great tournament. He had, I guess, you would call him his nemesis from Menlo. Lost to him twice during the year, wrestled him and pounded him. No, we pounded him. In the first round, second round of the conference tournament, and then we ended up losing, but then we wrestled him for third and fourth. And you know, I think we got there for third and fourth, did a good job getting there, wrestled a tough tournament, and I think we're just a little tired and worn down because it had been a long day for us, and we ended up finishing fourth. But again, you know, regional tournament came around, he was fresh, he was getting after it. So at 160, we had a fourth place finish out of Adam. Let's go and give him a hand. Next, at 170, we have our all-conference for the second year, conference champ this year, Kate Collins. So that's 170. Next, we have our 182 all-conference, Christian Bascom. He, finishing third for us, winning some big late matches. Again, you know, he towards the end of the season, he was probably all about 165 pounds, and pretty much everybody in our conference was 184 pounds. So, you know, we knew we weren't going to get pins, but he out there, as Coach Joe said, he has some pretty good dance moves. So he's slipping around, and next thing you know, he's out conditioning them, he's getting takedowns, he's winning close matches, and that's what it's all about. And he finished third for us, and again, garnered his first all-conference for us, which was a great job. Next, 195, we have another senior. He earned all-conference, had a great conference season. Again, you know, if not for the injury, it would have been fun to see exactly how it would have all turned out. But again, given the injury and the fact that he was even able to wrestle at all in the conference tournament, help the team out, score points is just a miracle in itself. I don't know. I mean, just seeing what I saw and how many times I saw it, I can't believe he did it, and it was awesome. Well-deserved all-conference, Eric Jones. We entered Big Mike in the conference tournament at 220, weighing a whopping 192, and which I was happy, drew. The way we work it out for the conference tournament, you see the top 4, you draw the rest, and there's only 5 entries, and we drew the 8th seed. So we had the pleasure of wrestling number 1 seed in the first round, which I was like, yes, because he's from Millbrook. And I have a very friendly rivalry with the Millbrook coach, but yeah, he was all conference for them. I think they sort of had a down year. He was one of their all conference guys, and you know, again, you don't really get a lot of happiness as somebody else's defeats or their losses or their shortcomings. But the fact that we beat them twice in the tournament, finished third, I couldn't, again, because we're friends, so I couldn't be like, but I was like, I was like, that's. I wish we could have won that semifinal match, got to the finals. I think we would have won because the kid that was in the finals had won it. We beat last year. But again, he showed up, helped us out, finished third. Let's give Big Mike a round of applause. unfortunately couldn't be with us tonight. Brandon Govan, he wrestled for me for 2 years, which was, again, another one of those, God, when he came out as a freshman. All he did in that short period of time is win 2 all-conference awards and win the conference tournament twice for me. So it's pretty impressive for 2 years of service, especially, you know, wrestling heavyweight. He's a big old man. So, like we joked about last year when finally we got him and he came out, and I was like, oh, Christmas came early for Wiz. We really hadn't had like a true heavyweight for a couple years, so you know it was very nice, and you know he just got after it and was a sponge and picked things up, and again, you know, who knows what would have happened if he would have came out freshman year. So those were all conference guys. All right, so let's give those guys a round of applause. Every year what I do, well, you know, I'm not a math guy, but I'm sort of like a stats guy. I'm sort of like the, you know, I like baseball. So, and if any of you guys know anything about baseball?
Wait, I'm gonna say something here. So Jason knows every wrestler across the state, what their records are, who beat who, and so I'm just amazed at how much of a student of the sport is, and you know, don't discount how much that helps the team. So he won't admit that, but he'll rattle off things. Yeah, that kid beat this kid, beat that kid. No, we need to wrestle this guy and that guy. I'm just like, I just want to wrestle. He's a master at that.
Like Rain Man, sort of. Honestly, I mean, I can't remember some things I learned last week, but I'm like, oh, that kid beat that kid 13 to 12. I don't know why. I guess, you know, they say you remember stuff that you like, so I really like the sport. But every year what we do is as the season, you know, we're going, like I do stats, like takedowns, escapes, and all those good things. And usually it's a fun competition. You know, the guys see that, and oh, you know, he's leading in escapes, or oh, he's leading in takedowns, or oh, he's, you know, so it sort of gives them motivation to try to, you know, go out there and, you know, get one more takedown, or, you know, pin the guy instead of only tech falling the guy, or, you know, things along those lines. So there's 7 categories that we do every year, and they are wins. We do wins, takedowns, near fall, reversals, team points, pins, and escapes. All right, so those are the 7 categories. Now, for your reading pleasure, I mean, I should have enough copies for everybody. I do a top 5 list. So whoever finishes the top 5, they end up on the list. It's something, you know, you take home, and if you want to frame it, you can frame it. You want to put it on the refrigerator, you can put it on the refrigerator. But what I do is give a little small token to the person that wins the category. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get this thing rolling. So, scoring the most takedowns this year with 111, we have Dan Mills. Winning the most matches for us this year with 58. Is close to breaking that 60 mark, which is very rare with the match limitations this day and age, was Dan Mills. Okay, so the next category we go, and you know, it says wins, it says takedowns. The next line is reversals, so we're going to go to that. And our reversal winner this year, again, great season, wrestled hard. Obviously led the team in reversals and won a lot of matches for us. Was a 2-time state qualifier, 3-time all-conference champ, Justin Tibbs. Next on our wall stats is escapes, and again, unfortunately, the young man is not here. Finishing first in that, Brandon Govan. Give him a round of applause. Okay, so Next, we have most near fall points scored, and this was sort of eerie, that not that he won it, but that the near fall points matched his win total. Dan Mills, 58. Moving on to most pens, Dan Mills with 43. Last but not least, most team points scored. This was a close one, but Dan Mills with 369. Now, backtracking a little bit, again, these awards, some of the younger guys, they just want to get in the lineup, they just want to wrestle, and they don't really look wow, who cares what leading the team as long as I'm getting wins and helping the team. And that's a good philosophy to have. But again, some of this stuff motivates them. Oh yeah. So motivation was sent by a young wrestler on the team, Brandon Jones, who we alluded to the takedown record. He whole season led Dan, and by a pretty good margin too. Because he was a takedown machine. It was like at one point I think he had him by like 30 something, and then. Slowly, surely, he caught up to him, and then at the end ended up, passing him. But, that's a good, in his mind, he was like, oh, I can't lose this, I don't want to win so bad. And, Brandon's just going out doing his job and trying to win matches for us. And so I'm not sure in the back of his mind, he was like, oh, I just gave that up. He's going to win the takedowns. But, it was good to see that. Like, again, he was like, I want to win that too. And, it drove him. Drove him to get more takedowns, and Dan's a classy wrestler. He's not one of those guys that's going to showboat and go out there. And if he knows a guy isn't at his level, he ends the match, as evident by the 43 pins. But some of these guys you go out there and probably take down 15 times, but at the end of the day, that's not helping them. It's not helping you, and again, not very classy. So I was amazed with how many. I think Brandon ended up like 94 takedowns, which is solid, which is very, very, very solid. Again, the top 5, it's all up here. Find your son's names on there. It's very interesting to, if you want to look at the stats, and if you want to, I can print off the whole. I have what I usually do, put up on the wall, like the final stats, so it has everybody's stats that wrestled. I think. They do they wrestled half the varsity matches, so they lettered, would be up there. So I can get that for you. So good job, gentlemen. Very nice. Right. Hey, I wanted to recognize 3 guys that did a great job for us. They reached the top of the sport of wrestling in the state that you can. Again, the wrestle, all the guys, love all these guys. They all do a good job. They all bring something different to the table. They're at different levels, different varying degrees, and it's fun when you see the maturation process, when you see it's clicking, that they finally get it. And again, me and Coach Joe will probably go to our graves thinking, God, one more year with this guy. All of them, honestly. It'd be nice if high school let you redshirt, or bring them up as an 8th grader and get them in the program, because, unfortunately in North Carolina, there are youth programs, and, Wolfpack Wrestling Club is doing a good job with the youth program, and there are other youth programs in the area that you can connect to. But, a lot of these guys start wrestling as freshmen in high school, and they come a long way. So, it's a testament to them. They're working hard. They're doing stuff in the off season to get better. So, I think, and I've been lucky. I've been blessed. I've been at Leesville for 17 years now, which I guess I'm dating myself, and I feel very, very old. Loved every minute of it, but I've always had at least 2 state qualifiers every year. Now, which again, those are kids. It's the kids. Their hard work and everything they put into it. And I had the pleasure of having 3 this year. I think we had 5 last year. We're going to have 10 next year. That's the goal. We always shoot high and hopefully, fall somewhere in the middle ground. But these 3 young men, 2 of which are here tonight, and 1 unfortunately is not with us. I want to go ahead and recognize them. So Justin Tibbs, as a 2-time state qualifier. Come on up, and then next we have Dan Mills, 3-time state qualifier. And then again, unfortunately, he's not here with us, but we will recognize him, Brandon Govan, qualifying in only his second year. All right, good job, gentlemen. Let's see, a couple more things. So again, we had a very successful year. Very happy. Brought along some young guys. They did a good job for us. Looking forward to all the things that are to come in the future with who we have coming back. And again, some of these guys are leaving us, but they'll be back, which is what's awesome about the sport. But I wanted to recognize the seniors real quick and tell you a little bit about what they did in their 4 years, or 3 years, or 2 years at Leesville. So if all the seniors would come on up for me right quick. Guess we gotta get you listening to that. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so what we'll do is we got one out of the room, but we'll share it with them through all our love and oh, there he is. Come on up, bud. So you took a shirt in. Oh, you never had something. No, he's good. That's a cool look. Oh yeah. So these young men, again, they've wrestled for them for varying times, and again, wish I had 4 years, wish I had a 5th year with them, wish we could have redshirted them this year, and keep going. Now, some of them will say, nah, we're good, but these guys accomplished in their career, which again, and I'll allude to this later on, but we won 3 consecutive regular season conference championships. They were 2-time conference tournament winners. They amassed a career wins total of 566, career takedown total of 772, career escapes 300, career reversals 225, career near falls 396, career pins 313, team points 3,045. There were 10 all-conference selection out of this group, 5 individual conference championships, and they led Leesville Road's team in their 4 years at the school to 108 dual victories. So these guys are Oh yeah. So now we get to have fun, give some awards, the big awards. Ready? All right, so the first award, okay, so the first award we're going to recognize goes to, we have like 4 major awards that we give out every year, okay? So we give out the team MVP, we give out the coach's award, most improved. We created an award a couple years ago called the Workhorse Award, which I told myself I was going to change it to the Cole Collins Award, because I don't think I've ever had anybody that's worked as hard as that young man. But again, this year I called in and said Workhorse Award. Sorry, Cole. I'll get it fixed. We'll get a Sharpie. We'll fix that thing. And then we have the Rookie of the Year. Now, with the Rookie of the Year award, you think, oh, it's going to a freshman. Not necessarily. Okay, so we have guys that come out for the team at varying times, and wrestle for us, you contribute, and like last year, Brandon Govan, first-year wrestler, conference champ, he won the Rookie of the Year award. He was a junior. Okay, so we had Jake Hutchins that wrestled for us last year. Who, he was an awesome addition to the team. All the guys will tell you that. Neat guy, very, very, very neat guy. But obviously, Govan had a lot of success. But this year's Rookie of the Year had a great year. Wrestled a lot of matches for us. I think 50 total matches as a freshman. It was all conference. Finished second in the conference tournament. And looking forward to 3 more years and a lot of more wins out of our Rookie of the Year, Max Abuka. Next, we have the other famous, again, Cole Collins Workhorse Award. And again, this is probably the hardest award to pick out this year because I did have a lot of guys that put in a lot of hard work and just grinding it out. Season's long. They came in. They were there early, not missing practices, not making excuses, making weight, doing what they're supposed to do. The young man that got the Workhorse Award this year, again, you never have to worry about a weight issue. You never have to worry about if he's going to show up to practice. You don't have to, which honestly, we don't have that problem. Those people aren't here with us. Sorry. But again, they show up. So. But this young man, he's there early. He leaves late. He's anything he can do to help people. He has a very good leadership qualities to him. He's one of the more vocal captains, which at times I found very good. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to say. But you can say that. So this year, 2016-2017 Workhorse Award winner goes to Simeon Ruff. Yeah. Next up, we have most improved. Now again, this was a tough one too because we had so many guys jump leaps and bounds from last year. Letterman that lettered last year that won 16 more matches, 20 more matches than they won the year before. Placed in the conference tournament, making it to the regionals, making it close to qualifying for the state tournament. But when I looked at it and I looked at the total body of work and where this individual came from and what he made himself into, at the end of the day, it was sort of a slam dunk. But our most improved goes to Adam Aldridge. Coach's Award. Again, this is, it's an awesome award. It's, something that I think about a lot. Again, number of recipients could have got it. Unfortunately, the young man that did achieve the Coach's Award this year is not with us tonight, but I will say something on his behalf. 2-year wrestler, won Rookie of the Year last year, 2-time conference champs, and 2 opportunities to wrestle in the conference tournament. In his second year of wrestling, won the Mid-East Regional Tournament. Was a state qualifier. I think in 2 years he had 80 wins, which that's pretty solid for never wrestling. And again, he was the anchor of our team. As we go up, wrestling's changed over the years. You start different weight classes. It's not always the little guy to the big guy. But if it ever started that way, we're like, hey, we're good. We got this guy here. And he'll finish strong. He'll finish that strong for us. So, your 2016-2017 Coach's Award recipient is Brandon Govan. Yeah.
Okay. So we have a couple of awards here. And those of you that have been with us, just tell you a real brief story. So, Maureen's brother Mike, he was a wrestler. He was actually my workout partner in high school, and I credit a lot of the success that I've had in wrestling to him. He, a couple of years ago, he was in a battle with cancer and just kind of ran out of time. And so he was probably one of the hardest workers that I knew. You know, we were good friends. He's got a really cool sister who I ended up marrying. And so what we decided to do was to give back to the sport, give back to wrestling, and really use this as a way to honor a couple of wrestlers that have gone above and beyond. I like to use the term uncommon because you know, we look for people being uncommon. You know, we track the number of times wrestlers come to the morning workouts, and we watch them in the room, not only how they perform on the mat, but how they conduct themselves, what kind of people they are, students they are. And so we've actually, our family and Maureen's parents and our extended family decided to set up a camp scholarship. So past couple of years, we've given out 2 camp scholarships to a couple of wrestlers who have been uncommon in their work ethic, uncommon in their dedication, uncommon in their attitude. And so I've got 2 of these awards here. I'm going to tell a brief story about 2 of these young men who basically have earned a scholarship to summer camp. So when they go to Appalachian Teen Camp, this scholarship will pay for that camp for them. First wrestler, what I can say is he wrestles and he competes, not only in the match, in practice, in the workouts. He's not a real big guy, but he competes like a big guy. You know, those of you that have seen some of the workouts we do, we take these big plates and, you know, the wrestlers get in and we do these workouts with them. Okay, these are 25 and 35 pound plates. And this young wrestler, I remember one practice we went in and I was like, hey, do you maybe need a smaller plate? No, coach, no, I want the big plate. Just indicates the type of dedication. And you see him over there, he's struggling a little bit, but at the end of the day, he was beating guys that were bigger than him, okay? So just uncommon in terms of the work ethic, uncommon in terms of his attitude. As Coach Wiss mentioned, you know, we bumped this guy up. Might start to give it away, but he weighs all of about 95 pounds, soaking wet. He bumped up to 113, and he went out there against these 113 pounders who were 6 feet tall, and he beat the living daylights out of them. He was running back to the center, and he literally broke these wrestlers. So, without further ado, due to his uncommon dedication, work ethic, and attitude, first recipient of the Mike George Wrestling Camp Scholarship, Max Bucco. Okay, second award. I'm going to tell a little story here, and I don't think he'd mind me telling this because it talks about the toughness of wrestling and the wrestling journey, and how these wrestlers grow in their toughness, in their ability to really overcome adversity, and ultimately see a prize at the end of the journey. So I think if I look back, and as Coach Wiss said, so I work with Wolfpack Wrestling Club, I work with off-season training, and I swear since the last day of practice last year, I think I've seen this wrestler just about every practice that I've been to. In the summer, we had Wolfpack Wrestling Club going, and this wrestler would come in, and the only guy that he had to work out with was about 20 pounds heavier than him. And this guy happened to be, actually ended up winning the state title. So there was a practice when afterwards, he looked kind of down and he was almost to tears, and he said, Coach, I don't know, I'm not getting better. I said, trust the process. Anybody who's wrestled, all of us included, have gone through a situation where you are physically getting pounded. No two ways about it. And I'd love to see wrestlers succeed and stick with things and come back from something like that. So we fast forward a little bit to the one of our biggest dual meets of the year, which was the Wake Forest dual meet. And I think it was justice that this wrestler who in the summer, coming to hard workouts, you're leaving the wrestling room sweating, it's 95 degrees outside. It's not a very pleasant thing, to clinching the conference championship for us. He had the opportunity to get out on the mat and win the match for us. So it was a great feeling, and without further ado, the other winner of the Memorial Camp Scholarship for his uncommon dedication, work ethic, and attitude, Adam Aldridge.
Good job, gentlemen. Very nice. So we got one more award and a couple things to close with. Before we get to that last award, go ahead and, as we talked a little bit about, or Coach Joe's alluded to, okay, so there's no mystery to how to get better at the sport. You gotta wrestle. So Wolfpack Wrestling Club started last Tuesday, and I know we have 4 or 5 guys there. I'd like to make that 8 to 10. 15, 20, however many we can get on the roster, let's get them there, because that's how you get better, is by wrestling, and going and training and getting pounded on by people that weigh a little bit heavier than you do, or maybe that little runt that's smaller than you and he's kicking your butt too because he's out there working hard. So, we need to get there. We need to get more off-season practice in. Also, that being said, we sent out not too long ago about camp. So this year we're going to go to App State, July 10th to the 14th. I think the day after email went out, I had a eager young man bring in his deposit and his camp flyer. Jake Polnowski brought his in right away. Good job, Jake. So again, the future is bright. But on that, it said deposits due May 1st. So let's go ahead and say it's not April yet, but the earlier the better. We go ahead and send it away, get our camp slotted in there and have that taken care of. Because again, I mean, it's a sport where whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So if you put in the time, you put in the effort, you will see leaps, bounds, and things that you didn't think that were attainable or achievable will be right there for you. Okay? So again, gentlemen, tell your parents you want to get a club. Parents, please try to get in the club. Camp, these off-season tournaments, get together with some friends, again, I know it's not fun times all the time, but get 4 or 5 guys together and you go wrestle and you try to beat some kids' heads in, and you joke about it. Hey, you got dropped in your head today. Yeah, it happens. Okay, but you see what I did to that guy 3 or 4 times. So again, and that's, you're building camaraderie, you're building that brotherhood, and again, getting out and competing as much as possible. We got to do it. My goal is between now and next off season, or next season, not off season, next season, is to try to get in 50 to 75 matches. And again, we've got guys that are getting there. We got guys that are competing. Jake, Max, Richie, Adam. These guys are already competing in tournaments. They're 4 or 5 matches up at least on everyone else. So I know summer's around the corner and it's going to get nice outside and the pool's calling, and I want you to go to the pool, but I want you wrestling too. Beach wrestling's coming up. That's fun. We got guys that have done that, and May 20th, 21st. So I've had some fun times. And the family can have fun together. You go watch you drop someone on their head in the sand, and then you can go to the beach or eat ice cream, or that's good stuff. It's fun times. So again, we got to get doing stuff in the off season. Guys, we got to start recruiting big guys. So if you have a friend, even if you don't think they're athletic enough, you've seen guys we've had in the past that have turned themselves into good wrestlers. It happens. Okay, so again, prove me wrong. Be like, oh, that kid probably couldn't make it. You guys prove me wrong every day. So that's good. That's what we want. That's the next step. So if we can get out there, you guys can get these guys there, and they can start doing what we need to do to get ready for next season. I appreciate that. Okay. So wrapping things up, almost finished. Last award we have to give, actually, it's sort of like a trifecta of awards. I said all the camp stuff, so I'm not sure how good I'll be able to talk later on. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and give out our MVP award this year. And I really don't know where to start with it. The accolades speak for themselves. And it's more than just being, a good wrestler. This young man's a good man. He came as a, young, what do we do, coach? What do we do, coach? Actually reminds me a lot of one of the other young guys on the team as a freshman. But eager.
I think the proper term that the wrestlers use is a squirrel.
Yes, very squirrely. All of them. So again, this process started 4 years ago, and every year he's grown leaps and bounds. And I'm not talking statistics, not talking wins and losses. I mean, he's just a great young man. When I was thinking about the award, he accomplished a lot in his career. He was a 3-time state qualifier, 2-time state place winner. He was the Cap 8 Conference Wrestler of the Year this year, which, I think I've had 4 or 5 kids be named that in their career. And then one of the things that I was most proud of his accomplishments were at the regional tournament, and coaches nominated the most outstanding wrestler of the regional tournament. And he won that award, which was unbelievable, and which his performance was unbelievable, to tell you the truth. I don't think I've ever seen anyone score 10 takedowns in a regional final against a 2-time state qualifier. And the funny thing about the situation is he sort of apologized for it. I'm like, what are you apologizing for? He's like, well, I don't, and tells you what kind of guy he is. I don't want to embarrass anybody. I'm like, you're not embarrassing him. And he's like, well, I felt like I did. And I'm like, no, you were listening to your coaches. We know he's a very dangerous wrestler, and if you let him keep it close, then he may steal one in the end. So he went to work and methodically took him apart, and he was voted most outstanding wrestler of the Mid-East Regional Tournament. And that is just a recognition award. They just say, okay, you're the MOW. They put it on a wrestling forum. They let everybody know you're the MOW. That's awesome. Well, I decided that, it's my first honor of having that award given to someone on our team. So I went ahead and got him the proper award, which I'll give him that first. So come on. So again, I think that's something, it's very prestigious to, out of all, we had state place winners in every weight class going up, state champion 145. He had an awesome tournament himself, but the fact that the coaches voted him out of all the rest of, those 14 weight classes, goes a lot. Says a lot about what that young man did that weekend and every weekend leading up to that. Now, so here's the thing that, sometimes when I think about it still, it's a little tough for me, but, Dan put in a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of effort, wrestled all over the place, and you never had to question if, oh, is he doing enough? Is he doing the right things? He was always doing the right thing. Now, he may have ate some of the wrong things once in a while. Maybe not cut weight the right way a couple times. But when the whistle blew, you knew what was going down. Now, unfortunately, and this is the thing that makes him the man that he is, and I think I'm more proud about this than anything else, is, and he won't tell you, but he got the flu the week of the state tournament. Now, he practiced Monday, Tuesday couldn't go, Wednesday couldn't go. He was worried about making weight. We were worried, and I'm doing, guys, this is real, but I'm doing coach talk. Oh, you're being fine, by Thursday you're good, And that part is coach talk, because I'm trying to get him not to stress and not to worry about it. But I totally believed, and I still believe to this day, that he's the best guy that term. Now, unfortunately, first match he wrestled didn't go very well for him. But, he gave it everything he had. And, it was sort of, the hard part about it was watching it, because I'd never in my life seen someone give so much and not have much to give. And, he had an asthma attack, he thought he was going to fall apart. And honestly, I'm being selfish at the time. I'm like, dang, here's my guy, here's my bullet. And we're staring him two in the face. I mean, we're gonna be done Thursday night or Friday morning. Because I just, at that time, I didn't think he had anything left in him. I mean, he gave us everything he had. Well, again, he proved me wrong. So he showed up, he made no excuses. He went back to the hotel, he got on weight, showed up, and wow. I mean, he's nowhere near 100%. And he wrestled the way he wrestled. He threw the kitchen sink at everyone that stepped on the mat with him. And he made state place winners, state qualifiers look like they were JV wrestlers. Sick. And he had enough in him to finish fourth. And, again, I'm being selfish as a coach. I've, watched this guy grow up, and I'm thinking, oh, he's not going to reach the goal we set. But then I look back on it, and, I talked to other coaches talked to me, and they were like, I could tell there's something wrong with Dan. But he never said anything. He didn't make excuses. He just went out there, he towed the line, he shook the guy's hand, and he put on a show. And I know that that's the thing I'm most proud about this young man. That, he's going to give you everything he's got every single time he goes out there. And he had every excuse in the book just to mail it in, call it a career, and not wrestle in the state tournament his senior year. I mean, he was that sick. It was, I don't know why he picked the white singlet to wear, because what a good choice. I think we might retire that. Might have to. But again, he in the classroom he's MVP, citizenship he's MVP. Just an all-around great young man. Again, no excuses. He did what he had to do. He showed up. He wrestled for us. Again, fun to sit back and watch wrestling. Just fun. And I can wish it would have ended differently, but things happen for a reason, and this will only make him stronger as he goes on to the next stage in his life, and something good will come of that adversity he faced that weekend. And I don't know what it entails. I'm not Nostradamus. I can't predict the future, but I can tell you that good things are ahead for this young man, and his career at Leesville Road was unbelievable. It didn't end the way we wanted it to, but you know what? It ended pretty darn good, and I think, in my heart of hearts, I think it's better than winning the state title, what he did that weekend. So he persevered. Again, I don't know if I can put it all into words, what I'm trying to say. I think it's all in the back of my mind, and it's not coming out. But I'm very proud of him. He is our 2016-2017 MVP, Dan Mills. Unfortunately. We're going to wrap these things up, wrap this banquet up. Okay. So again, thank you very much for coming tonight to celebrate these young men and this young lady. She's done a great job for us. I appreciate everything you do as parents, all the support. Last thing before I guess these guys take over. I started doing this last year, trying to find a little niche, trying to make this thing quicker every year, but it's hard when you get up here and you start talking about your kids and what they do for us and the work they put in. You start rambling and you probably hear some things multiple times. You're like, that guy just talks. Usually I'm not a talker, trust me. But it's hard. It's hard when it comes to these kids. So we started doing this last year, and I'm gonna continue to do it. Be a way to wrap up. We do a little. I haven't put out the handbook in a couple years, but I put the wrestling stats on the wall in the mat room. So we had some like a Leesville record book. So. Again, alluded to this earlier, this is the first time in school history that we won 3 consecutive conference regular season championships. Dan Mills moved into 5th in individual wins in a season with 58. Dan moved to 3rd in pins in a season with 43. Dan moved to 2nd all-time in pins with 109. Justin Tibbs moved to 10th on the list with 67. Dan's 3rd most career wins of all time in Leesville Road history, and then the very fun category that makes it all worthwhile and very fun. Career wins by brothers. Okay, so because having brothers is great, especially when they get into the sport of wrestling. So after this year, the Mills brothers, which where's Jay? There's Jay. He finished for us last year. They finished with a career 293 wins for 2nd place in our brothers' career wins list. Hold on, we're not done yet. The Collinses, which Cole's there, Kate's there, and the little devils running around somewhere. They got an unfair advantage, but they are right now cemented in 4th place with 259 career wins. But then also jumping onto the list this year on the strength of young Bird's strong season, we have the Ruffs moving into the list in 5th place with 202 wins. And then also jumping into the top 10 on a solid sophomore season, we have the Joneses in 8th place with 158 wins. So again, brothers are awesome. Start them young, Evan. Have more kids. We'll just get the younger ones wrestling if you don't want to have more kids. Alrighty. That's all I got. That's y'all.
Wait, we need the mic.
Speak louder. Use your chat.
All of us when I say that we can't thank these guys enough for everything they've done for us for these past 4 years. And I'm talking about being there at practice every day and pushing us harder and being there for when we call them at 2 o'clock in the morning, just crying, be like, Liz, I cannot make weight. He's like, you're gonna make weight. And, make weight every time. So yeah, that just shows that they're always there for us, and I think that pretty much sums it up. I love these guys to death. So do all these guys. So let's give a round of applause.
I haven't been here too long, and I don't know much, but I do know that the 2 years that I've been here, Coach Joe and and Coach Wiss are full of knowledge. And if they don't know the answer, they'll find somebody for you that does know the answer. So they're just a bunch of help, if you need anybody.
All right, so I just want to say, like, I can speak for everyone on the team when I say that Coach Wiss and Coach Joe have definitely made us better wrestlers. Just every practice pushing us when we don't want to be pushed anymore. Breaking down, getting hurt every practice. They just push us, be our best, and I believe that they brought out the best in every single wrestler on the team.
I don't need a mic. I'm a very loud person. My name's Christian. I've only been here for 2 years. Having these two coaches as coaches has been amazing. It's been a hell of 2 years. Excuse my language, but it's been a hell of 2 years. Every time I have a little bit of an anger issue, every time I've came off the mat, yelling, screaming, Coach Joe has been there, pushing Wiss out of the way, saying, "Hey, let me handle this," because it's about to go down. But I just want to thank these two coaches for a wonderful 2 years that I've had.
Say more than 5 words.
Okay, like, honestly, like, all y'all, Coach Wiss and Coach Joe, I love all y'all.
These pictures pretty much sum up how like every match looks with these guys.
Arcade. Where are you? You had to pick them.
That was the
Yeah.
So just a little story behind this for those of you that don't know the story. We're at the Jim King tournament. Cade's wrestling a guy from Orange. Now, you've been to Orange. We're wrestling at Orange. Orange has about 3,000 people in the gym that holds about 500. And Cade's wrestling a guy from Orange. And the guy's kicking the living daylights out of Cade. And he puts Cade on his back. Jason says to me, "That's right where we want him." Cade hits a high bridge, takes the kid, puts him on his back, is getting ready to stick him. And I think this is the point in time where we're telling the ref, "Don't stop the match." The clock went out. And we were yelling, "Don't stop the match." What did the referee do? Our guy's pinning their guy, and he had like a minute and a half left, and they stopped the match. And I'm glad they cut this picture here, not about 3 or 4 minutes later, because it wasn't nice.
No.
We got a little excited during that match, but this is great. Thank you guys.
Yeah.